TitleMatchNetwork.com.
How did things change after Hogan left?
It definitely changed because here you have Hulk Hogan. It's kind of like Hulk Hogan and WWF went together.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
It's kind of like, Hulk Hogan not with WWF anymore because every time you turn your TV on WWF, say
Mhm.
your prayers,
Right.
the whole 9 yards. And you're always seeing the gold and the red always on TV. You're always seeing Hulk Hogan, all the time, the yellow, the red, the yellow, the red, the yellow, the red, all the time. So all of a sudden for him not to be there, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. And during that time too, what you're probably thinking of also is when everyone started going to WCW.
Right.
And that was more of the big impact when, the Hulk Hogans and, the Razor Ramones and all of these guys and Macho Man Savage, all of a sudden there've been these WWF guys for so long, and all of a sudden, boom,
Mm-hmm.
they were the company that, not that you were ever competing against, but you were competing, but Vince has always been number one. He was always leading the pack and
Right.
never really concerned about them. But all of a sudden you got Hulk Hogan that's been, brand WWF the whole time. And same thing with Monster. Now they're WCW. So yes, it was a big,
Yeah.
people did look at that and, during that time was like, wow. It definitely affected guys not only in the locker room, but I think corporately too.
Right.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Right. Do you regret not going to WCW at all?
No, not at all, because I could sit here and go, well, I could have went to WCW,
Right.
I could have signed this big contract, could have made all this money, but would I have started a family?
Right.
When those kids look at me and they go, in the middle of the night, Dad,
Mm-hmm.
Dad, I need my milky or I
Right,
need my
right.
bottle, Yeah, you might have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but it is so precious.
Right.
To have your own children. And then, and not only that, it's a blessing because not everyone can have children. Unfortunately, not everyone can have children. Sometimes people have health problems and they can't have children. And sometimes people let their careers get the best of them and they don't want to have children. They see it as a hindrance. But man, one of the greatest blessings, because when they look at you and go, Daddy, I love you. Oh man, you could be having a rough day. But when they say that, it's just like, what rough day?
Right.
Something special about your child,
Mhm.
saying that to you. So if I'd have went to WCW, that might be missed. And
Right.
what I'm so happy about is after doing the Eugene Invitational, after a Raw magazine storyline,
Mhm.
where they put me in the October issue, and I was right in the front of the magazine, and
Right,
they did a
right.
great write-up on me. I was so impressed on what they said about me. I've been talking to the office, and now I've officially signed a contract,
That's
which
great.
the office has, and I'm going back. And right now, this interview is going to be an interview right before me going back
That's great. Yeah.
to War Wrestling Entertainment. So this is fantastic. And the reason I'm so happy that I didn't go to WCW is because I've only been WWF, WWE.
Yeah.
Vince knows that too.
Right.
And I could see, and I look back at the days when Hogan went to WCW and Macho Man went there. I could see it bothered Vince.
Mhm.
Because they'd always been WWF,
Yeah.
WWF. I mean, like I said earlier, you turn on the TV, Hulk Hogan. You turn on the TV, Macho Man. You
Right.
didn't see WCW. They were always WWF forever. So it's so odd to see them there.
Yeah.
But, also people make decisions, which nothing against them. They make business decisions.
Right.
So you can't be against them for those things.
Was there any ever talk of you going to ECW?
I had ECW contact me at one time, and they tried to contact me again. But that's when I had got back on the road on independence.
Yeah.
And ECW was a total different style of wrestling. It's exactly what it was called, Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Right.
Very intense. They had Bam Bam there.
Right.
I'd love to but I was already on the road then, doing bookings myself, doing all my own personal bookings right through my
Right.
office at my home. I was booking myself as much as 21 days a month. I was doing fantastic. I was making 6 digits on the independent circuit. Seriously, not
Yeah.
pumping it up. I mean,
believe it,
a lot of the guys know this because they they see me on the road all the time. They go, man, you're doing unbelievable. What are you doing? How are you doing? I go, man, I'm just treating it like a business.
Right.
And plus, coming off of TV from WWF, the TV goes worldwide.
Yeah.
WWE, I mean, my God, no matter where you go, they know who you are.
Right.
So it's tremendous. It really helped. But, you know, I didn't need to go to the ECW.
Right.
I mean, I was doing so well.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go. And I was calling my own shots and just having a great time. I actually booked a couple tours over to Saudi Arabia, which went fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually took my whole tour over, you know, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago. And it's when I took Yokozuna over and Kevin Sullivan and,
Oh, wow.
you know, and Barbarian, and everyone stayed in five-star resort. I mean, beautiful place, all food paid for.
Wow.
They had all their money, half upfront for me, paid before when we're getting on the plane to come back home, had the rest of their money, not one of those nightmares, don't get paid. I mean, I treated it like a business. I had contracts in place with, you know, Saudi Arabian and with, not with the princes, but the people that were representing the sheikhs. I mean, not princes, but representing the sheikhs. So, you know, I was doing very, very well. Not only running a couple shows, but more important, being Tatanka, being out on the road. So I didn't need to go anywhere.
What is the strangest rumor or biggest misconception about Tatanka that you've heard?
Oh, gosh. I've really never heard anything that I really went, wow, I don't like that. I've never heard anything like, I don't like it. Probably, to be quite frank with you on that, probably the greatest critic to Tatanka has been, I'd have to say 2 things. You're always your own best critic.
Right.
If you're wanting to get better, you're looking at yourself going, God, you shouldn't have done that. You should have done this better.
Yeah.
So I've always looked at myself and critiqued and go, I wish I could have done that better. But someone who's always been very select few, very, very select few. And it's always the minority, not majority in any of these times. But someone that's always been, sometimes it'd say things to me and I would just rub me a little bit wrong, would be Native Americans.
Okay.
And the reason why is because this is very important here, because I take pride in who I am. Ever since junior high school, they used to have Native stuff. I'd wear Native jewelry to high school. I was proud of my heritage then. Mm-hmm. I've got my card with the government. I mean, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's serious with me. But you got certain Native Americans, very select few, that because you do something that is not 100% tradition, everything you've done doesn't mean anything. That's wrong. Mm-hmm. You know, meaning instead of looking at the good you've done, you can do one thing not right with tradition, and they're negative on you because of that one thing. And what I'm saying here is, hey, do you not see? Number one, I wasn't born on a reservation. Right. I wasn't born on government granted land. I wasn't born out in the middle of nowhere. I was born in the city. I was born, going to, being in the midst of everything. But more important than that, meaning I wasn't born up living tradition every day as a Native American, being out in the middle of the plains and things like that. I was born where God placed me. Yeah. This is where he placed me. If you wanted me to be born out in South Dakota, I'd be in South Dakota. If you wanted me to be born in Wyoming, I'd be born. Where I've been born is where I've been born. So this is what I've had to live with. But more important than that, what you have to look at is, because of a simple tradition, what you have to look at is look at all the Native Americans worldwide that have emailed me and all the kids and says, man, you're my hero. Man, it makes me look at you and go, if that Native can do it, I can do it. Yeah. We can take everything in life every single day. And if you really want to, you can look for the negative in everything. That's true. It's how you perceive it. Mm-hmm. What kind of person, what's in your heart? Are you want to be a negative person and tear down things? Or are you a person that, let me look for the positive? Right. Let me look how I can build things up. How can I help? Instead of, how can I tear things down? So again, I've had some natives that I just want to go, Right. Where are you at? Let me sit down and talk to you.
Right, I got you.
Can't you see? I mean, you're so caught with tradition. Tradition, yeah, it honors who we are as a people. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, that tradition is not half as powerful as being on TV as a Native American, representing people and showing kids that are in somewhere where they're starving, don't have any schooling, don't have any medicine, but they have hope because they see Native American Tatanka from the Lumbee tribe. He's on TV.
Yeah.
If he can do it, I can do it.
Right.
So that's the message that I want to portray. That's what's in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Not look at me, look at Tatanka. You know, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yep.
That's the story.
TitleMatchNetwork.com